In this installment, we're going to be going over the NBA bet slate for Friday, April 12th. Let's get into it. Welcome back to the channel. It's your boy Chef D, and I'm here to bring you the winning ingredients for our NBA bet slate for Friday, April 12th. All right. But before I deep dive into that, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. Don't forget about Instagram and Twitter at MetsNetJetsD. Don't forget about that TikTok at Chef_D91. And don't forget about that Patreon. I'm going to talk about that very, very soon. Right now, we're at the homepage of the YouTube channel, currently at 3.69 thousand subscribers. Our goal is 10K. 10K is our goal, and we are moving each and every day, gaining ground. I appreciate everyone's love and support. I appreciate the comments down below. So guys, if you're already subscribed, continue to do what you're doing. Like and comment. All right. That helps the YouTube algorithm. If you're not currently subscribed, join the community that we're building on YouTube in that comment section and on Patreon as well. All right. Do not miss out. Now, speaking of missing out, you guys missed out on a fantastic NBA slate, man. If you would have seen the posts, I can't put the chat up here. They won't let me, but we absolutely dominated the NBA slate on Wednesday. We had the Hornets outright win. I gave out the +11. Nuggets won. Cavs covered. The only bad play was the Nets. Mavs won easily. Bucks won. Thunder, Suns. And these are some of the tickets, man. The tickets, absolutely insane. Nets, Mavs, and Suns for 79. We had Suns on the money line. We had Bucks on the money line. We had Hornets +10, Nuggets, and Suns. That combination came through. Live bet with the Denver Nuggets. They were plus money. That came through. We had two underdogs. Hornets money line, Bucks money line. That came through. And just win after win. So if you want winning bets, you sign up for that Patreon right now. Join the community that we're building, and you get connected. All right. Remember, link is provided down below. First game up, we have the Indianapolis Pacers going up against the Cleveland Cavaliers here. Pacers 46-34, going up against the Cavs 47-33. Looking at the current odds right now, we have home favorite Cavs on a -150 money line with the comeback of the Pacers at a +125. The current spread is at 2.5, and the total is set at 232.5. For the public bet percentage here, 79% of the bets towards Cleveland, 96% of the money towards Cleveland. For the point spread, 69% of the bets, 68% of the money towards the Pacers to cover. And for the total, 66% of the bets, 61% of the money towards the over 232.5. Injury report here. Isaiah Jackson is currently questionable. Mathurin is out for the year. And for the Cleveland Cavaliers, Sam Merrill is doubtful. Dean Wade is questionable. And Ty Jerome had surgery. All right. So these two teams have already played 3 times already. And the Pacers are leading the series 2-1. The totals in those games were 238. 237 and 211. All right, fourth and final matchup here, very crucial, because if we're looking at the standings right now, the Cavs are the 4th spot, Pacers are the 6th spot. They can certainly move up. Pacers can avoid the Knicks and go with a better matchup for them, which is the Orlando Magic here. So this is definitely fighting for that 4 and 5 spot right there. Well, they'll be facing matchup, but they'll probably have no home court advantage. But we'll see. But a crucial matchup between the 4 and the 6 spot here. What we're going to be looking at, is looking at ATS. All right. So as away dogs, the Pacers are 13-10 against the spread. That's +2.5. As home favorites, the Cleveland Cavaliers are 13-16, under 500 here. We have a Cleveland Cavaliers team, if we're looking at the last couple games, that have been struggling. All right. Struggled against the Suns, Lakers, Clippers. They have 2 easy wins against teams that don't even try. Memphis and Utah. They have completely backups and G League players. Pacers on the other side are very strong coming into this game. Blowing out Toronto, beating Miami, beating OKC, and blowing out the Brooklyn Nets here. So give me the better team in this spot, the more motivated team, the hotter team. I'll take the plus 2.5 for the Pacers. And if we're looking at over-under here, as home favorites, the Cavaliers are 17-12 towards the over. And for the Pacers, as away dogs, they're 12-11 towards the over. Give me the over 232.5 as well. Next game up, we have the Brooklyn Nets, 32-48, going up against the New York Knicks, 47-32. Looking at the current odds right now, Knicks are big home favorites here, and this is the second game of back-to-back. They are blowing out the Boston Celtics as of right now by almost 30 points here. So highly motivated spot for the Knicks. They want to solidify themselves as the number 3 and have the opportunity to move to 2. There's still definitely a huge opportunity to move up to the 2 spot actually for the New York Knicks if Milwaukee Bucks are going to be without Damian Lillard and without Giannis Antetokounmpo. The Knicks can creep up here in the last couple games. All right, so looking at the odds, minus 550 on the money line for the Knicks with the comeback of the Brooklyn Nets at a plus 400. The current spread is at a 10.5, and the total is set at 210.5. For the public bet percentage, 89% of the bets, 84% of the money towards the Knicks. For the point spread, 53% of the bets, 60% of the money towards the Knicks to cover. And for the total, 90% of the bets, 92% of the money towards over 210.5. For the Brooklyn Nets, on the injury report here, Cam Johnson is currently questionable. And for the New York Knicks, there's no one that's important. Dwayne Washington has been out. Charlie Brown doesn't. Both of these guys don't play. And Julius Randle is out for the year. All right. So looking at these two teams, the Knicks lead the series 3-0. Knicks have an opportunity to sweep the Brooklyn Nets this season. The totals in those games were 223, 211, and 198. All right. So what we're going to be going with here, we're going to be going with the Knicks, but we need value. We need value. So can the Nets cover? I'm going to be going away from the Nets here. The Nets as away dogs are 10-18 against the spread. Horrible against the spread on the road. And underdogs for the over-under. The Nets are 13-15 towards the under. And the Knicks, are 4-8 towards the under. So both trends towards the under. And we're going to have the Knicks cover. I'm going to give out that 9.5, just that 1 point just for safety. So give me the Knicks to cover 9.5 and give me the under 210.5. Next game up, we have the Milwaukee Bucks here, 49-31, going up against the OKC Thunder, 55-25. Current odds right now, Thunder are huge home favorites, minus 500, with the comeback of the Milwaukee Bucks at a plus 375. The current spread is at a 10.5, and the current total is at 223.5. For the public bet percentage, 78% of the bets towards the Thunder, but 59% of the money on the Milwaukee Bucks. All right. For the point spread, 82% of the bets, 87% of the money on the Bucks to cover it at 10.5. And for the total, 82% of the bets, 83% of the money towards the over 223.5. All right. For the Milwaukee Bucks injury report, Damian Lillard will be out. And Giannis Antetokounmpo will be out. All right. For the OKC Thunder, Luguentz Dort is going to be probable for this game. So healthy team in the Thunder, and obviously Bucks with that injury to Antetokounmpo, they're just going to sit their other star in Damian Lillard out as well in this game. All right, these two teams have already played earlier, about a couple weeks ago, and that was a blowout win by the Milwaukee Bucks there. And the total of that game was 211. All right, 211 in that game. So looking at this current total right now, it is set at 223.5. But you got to factor in that Giannis is out and Damian Lillard is out. If we're looking at the over-under, as home favorites, 14-17 towards the under are the Thunder. And for the Bucks as away underdogs, they are 1-8 towards the under. So big under numbers here. I'm going to be going under 223.5 with all those guys out for the Milwaukee Bucks. I do not expect them to keep up pace. And for the value here, obviously we don't want the Thunder at minus 500. We got to pick the spread. I'm going to be taking the Thunder minus 9.5. If you want to take that point, you can. But if we're looking at home favorites against the spread, 21-12, the OKC Thunder, and for the Bucks as away dogs, they are 3-6. So not covering spreads. You add in Damian Lillard out and Giannis out. Everything bodes well for the Thunder. Give me a full sweep here. Thunder minus 9.5 and the under 223.5. Next game up, we have the Phoenix Suns 47-33 going up against the Sacramento Kings 45-34. Looking at the current odds right now, we have road favorites here. Phoenix Suns at a minus 190 on the money line, with the comeback of the Sacramento Kings at plus 155. The point spread at a 4.5 and the total at 225.5. For the public bet percentage here, 63% of the bet, 74% of the money towards the Suns. For the point spread, 56% of the bet, 62% of the money towards the Suns to cover. And for the total, 86% of the bets, 82% of the money towards the over 225.5. Phoenix Suns, Damian Lee continues to be out. For the Sacramento Kings, JaVale McGee is going to be questionable and Malik Monk is out for the year. All right, so these two teams, this is their fifth and final matchup. The current series right now is tied at 2-2. In the games that they've played, the totals were 220, 225, 236, and 255. So this game here is going to be more like a playoff environment, all right? More of a like a playoff environment here. If we're looking at over-under, Kings as home underdogs, they are 5-9 towards the under. Actually, as with no rest, because this is going to be a second game of a back-to-back. The Kings are currently playing the Pelicans, and then they got to face the Phoenix Suns. So with no rest, the over-under is 5-9 towards the under. So that's going to be bode well in the favor of the Phoenix Suns here, who's going to have rest in this very crucial game. Because if we're looking at the standings, these two teams are for that 7 and 8 spot. The Suns are trying to get out of the play-in and move up to that 6th spot. They're only a half a game behind the New Orleans Pelicans. So technically, the Kings can help out the Suns and have the Pelicans lose and move down the Pelicans probably below the Phoenix Suns. So very, very crucial game was going on Thursday, and very crucial game going on Friday as well. I'm going to be taking the better team here, the more rested team, and team that's more healthier, because the Sacramento Kings are missing two key pieces. No Kevin Huerter, no Malik Monk. Phoenix Suns are playing well. And give me them on the money line at a minus 190. You can play with that point spread all you want, but we're getting a solid number here on the money line. And for the over-under, which I think is going to be more of a playoff atmosphere, and we have no rest here for the Sacramento Kings, I'm going to go with the under 225.5. I'm going to go against the grain here. I'm going to avoid the public, and I'm going to go under 225.5. Next matchup, we have the Detroit Pistons, 13-67, going up against the Dallas Mavericks here, 50-30. The Mavericks have just solidified themselves as the number 5 spot here. They cannot move up on that 4 spot, so that's why when I get to the injury report, I'll let you know, but they cannot move up on that 4 spot. They lost the season series to the LA Clippers. So looking at the current line right now, Dallas Mavericks are huge favorites here, minus 1,200 on the money line, with the comeback of the Detroit Pistons at plus 700. For the total is currently at 217.5. It opened up at 220. It's continually being bought down. Okay, it's being bought down right now continually, and the spread is at 13.5. All right, now for the Detroit Pistons injury report, Cade Cunningham did not play on Thursday. He is currently questionable for Friday. Most likely he's going to be out. All right, most likely. They've been sitting him for the last couple games. There's no need to play him. Get him ready for next year. Simone Fontecchio is out. Quentin Grimes is out as well. So the Detroit Pistons, this is the second game of a back-to-back going against the Dallas Mavericks, and they got a bunch of backups as well. All right, for the Dallas Mavericks, Kyrie Irving will not play. Just got that news. Luka Doncic is questionable, and Derek Lively is out for the regular season. So the only person we're really waiting on news for is if the Dallas Mavericks are going to give playing time to Luka Doncic. So stay tuned to news with that roto link provided down below, that you can stay up to date with starting lineups. Okay. Now, if we're looking at the Detroit Pistons here, they put up 105 points with some backups here. So there's going to be the same cast and crew that played the Bulls going against the Dallas Mavericks here. That the real question here is the over-under, all right? With all these guys out, can the backups for the Mavericks put up points with going up against the backups of the Detroit Pistons? So as of right now, with Luka Doncic as Q, as questionable, I imagine he's probably not going to play this game. I'm going to go with the under 217.5, but I do imagine this number to continue to drop. So get it now while you can before it gets even lower. All right. For the cover of the spread, the Detroit Pistons are very bad. As you can see up top, even though the Chicago Bulls were starting some starters, that was a 22-point loss. Dallas Mavericks still got plenty of guys coming off that bench that can still put up points. I would go with the Dallas Mavericks minus 9.5, but that is an ugly play. Trusting that 13.5 as well is ugly. But just give me the double-digit win. That's why I'm telling you minus 9.5. My most confident play would be the total and taking it under. All right, let's move on to the next game. Next game up, we have the Toronto Raptors 25-55 going against the Miami Heat 44-36. Looking at the current odds here, Miami big favorites here, minus 1,800 on the money line with the comeback of the Toronto Raptors at a plus 900. The over-under is set at 216.5, and the spread is currently at 15.5. All right. So for the injury report here for the Toronto Raptors, Gary Trent Jr. is going to be questionable and Bruce Brown is going to be questionable in this game. For the Miami Heat, Duncan Robinson is out and Terry Rozier is going to be questionable in this game. So far, the Raptors here, these are the final two games between these two teams here. They face each other back-to-back on the 12th and on the 14th. So far, the season series is split 1-1, one going towards the Raptors, one going towards the Heat. The totals in those games were 215 and 218. All right. Heat, technically, they don't really need this game. They really don't. If we're looking at the standings, the Miami Heat are behind the 76ers. They would need the 76ers to lose both of those games, but 76ers are already in a motivated spot to win. Plus, they do not control the season series against the 76ers as well. So even if they tie, they will not be able to surpass the 76ers, all right? So this is a game here that they'll probably win, but they don't really need it. And the Toronto Raptors, they're closing out the season quickly, and RJ Barrett are trying to finish the year strong, and they've been putting up points, all right? They played well in their previous game against the Brooklyn Nets. They put a strong fight up against Indianapolis Pacers, but they were motivated, but they kept pace with the Pacers in that game, scored over 260 points in that game. And then the Raptors had a solid win over Washington and a solid win over the Milwaukee Bucks. So we got a Raptors team that's been playing a little bit better versus a Miami team that's been struggling. Yes, they need to win, but are they motivated? And that's what we're going to look at this spread, all right? So we're going to go with the plus 15.5 of the Raptors. Love this number here. That's a lot of points here for an unmotivated team that's pretty much stuck at that 8th spot. All right, so give me Toronto Raptors plus 15.5, and I expect points to be scored in this one. Give me the over 216.5. The open, it opened at 211. It's been bought up 5 points already, so I like points in this game as well. Next game up, we have the LA Lakers here, 45-35, going up against the Memphis Grizzlies, 27-53. Looking at the current odds right now, we have Lakers road favorites, huge favorites here, minus 1,400 on the money line with the comeback of the Grizzlies at a plus 750. The current total opened up at 226. It is now 227.5, and the spread opened up at 12.5 and is now at 14.5. All right, for the injury report for the LA Lakers, Anthony Davis is probable and LeBron James is questionable. But with AD playing, I imagine LeBron James is going to play as well in this spot. Memphis Grizzlies here, they've given up on the season, and all these guys are going to be out there playing G League guys and backups pretty much. Santi Aldama out, Stevens out, Williams out, Watanabe out, Kennard out. All right. And if we're looking at the Grizzlies, the last 3 games, they haven't even touched 100 points. Okay. 96, 87, and 98. They haven't even eclipsed 100 points in those 3 games. All right. So when you're looking at the regular season series here, Yes, before these two teams were putting up big numbers with the totals, 134 to 107, 127 to 113, and 136 to 124. So a lot of high-scoring environments earlier in the season. But we're talking about a team here in the Memphis Grizzlies that don't have any stars, and they're playing a whole bunch of backups. Okay, and that's why this spread is so large. So what I'm gonna be going towards, I'm going to under 227.5. And for the Lakers, give me them to cover the 9.5. I get it; it's moving up and higher. They're probably going to blow them out entirely, but I want to be safe here. Give me the minus 9.5 for the Lakers, and give me the under 227. Next game up, we have the Atlanta Hawks here, 36-44, going against the Minnesota Timberwolves, 55-25. Looking at the current odds, Minnesota Timberwolves, big favorites, minus 700 on the money line here, with the comeback of the Atlanta Hawks at a plus 475. The current total is at 225.5, and the spread is at 12.5. For the injury report, we got some good news for the Minnesota Timberwolves. The Timberwolves will be getting back Karl-Anthony Towns. He's trying to get ramped up for the playoffs. Towns is back. So that is going to be positive news for the Minnesota Timberwolves. Atlanta Hawks, we're waiting on news for Clint Capella, questionable. DeJounte Murray, questionable. And AJ Griffin is going to be questionable. So we could get a full healthy report here for both sides. A full healthy Atlanta Hawks going against a full healthy Minnesota Timberwolves here. The Hawks defense has been putrid as of late, allowing 115, 117, and 142 in the last 3 games. That's going to bode well for a Minnesota team, especially with Karl-Anthony Towns trying to get back in the mix. So I'm leaning towards the over 225.5. These two teams have already played. That total was 240. All right, and that was an Atlanta Hawks win there. So a little bit of a revenge spot for the Minnesota Timberwolves here. And if we're looking at the standings, Timberwolves still need this game. Timberwolves are pretty much tied with the OKC Thunder. All right, for the 2 and the 3. All right, so it's gonna come down for the last 2 games for the 2 and 3 spot, plus the number 1 spot. They would probably need Nuggets to lose both of these games to even creep about that 1, but that's most likely not going to happen. So it's either the flip-flop with the Thunder and the Timberwolves with the 2 and the 3. So the Timberwolves still need this win here. So we're going to go over the total here at 225.5. And for the spread, I'm still going to take the Minnesota minus 9.5. It opened up at 13.5, moved down to 12.5, so just 1 point of movement, but I still think this is a double-digit win by the Minnesota Timberwolves here. I think they get going in that second half, with the first half of Karl-Anthony Towns getting a little more acclimated to the team, and then all guns go for that second half for the Minnesota Timberwolves here. I'm going to take them at home, where they're a strong home team, minus 9.5. in the over 225.5. Last but not least, we have the Denver Nuggets here, who are currently 56-24, going up against the San Antonio Spurs, 20-60. Looking at the current odds, we have the Nuggets as road favorites at minus 550 on the money line, with the comeback of the San Antonio Spurs at plus 400. The total is at 224.5. And for the current spread, it is at 10.5. All right. For the injury report, the Denver Nuggets, they're probably going to be sitting most of their guys. So as of right now, KCP questionable, Michael Porter Jr. questionable, Aaron Gordon questionable, Jamal Murray questionable. All right. That previous game where they faced the Minnesota Timberwolves, that was for all the marbles there for that number 1 spot. The Nuggets did win the division here. So this is probably a scenario where they're going to be sitting their guys. All right. So the San Antonio Spurs on the other side, Dominic Barlow out, Seti Osman out, Keldon Johnson out. But the positive news here, Victor Wembanyama is going to play. So when Victor Wembanyama plays, Spurs play a little bit harder, and they at least have the opportunity to cover numbers here. All right, for the season series, Denver Nuggets still have an opportunity to sweep the San Antonio Spurs at 3-0 currently. They can go for 4-0 sweep here. The totals in those games were 252, 223, and 215. All right, for the total, I'm going to be going with the under with all these guys out. We got a lot of Q tags on majority of the starters except for Nikola Jokic. They're still, we're waiting on news about Nikola Jokic, so stay up to date with the news there if he's going to play or not in this game. All right. So we're going to go under 224.5. That would have been fine for the last two games, which were 215 and 223. Plus, you got to factor in all the guys missing, all right? And we're going to go with the plus 10.5 with Victor Wembanyama playing in this game. I have confidence in this Spurs team to at least cover this number here at home, all right? So that bodes well for the Spurs as well. So Spurs plus 10.5 and the under 224.5. For the other games, since it is not out yet, I'm going to, in the morning, I'm going to provide the total and my decision on the spread or money line for the games that I'm going to say right now. Pelicans, Warriors, Rockets, Trailblazers, Jazz, Clippers, Hornets, Celtics, Bulls, Wizards, and Magic, 76ers, all right? In the morning, when the line comes out, I'm going to post my decision on those 6 games, all right? So as of right now, this is all that we have. Remember, Spurs plus 10.5 and the under 224. Thank you guys for tuning in. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. And I'll be back with another video very soon, all right? Remember, comment down below. Let me know how you feel on these games, and let me know about the games that I didn't talk about as of yet. Peace out.